hardware, man. There's no plan here.
You never know. Well,
Yeah.
when I first started, and we sort of started working together, you started talking about all the younger people that have worked before me, you know, and you're telling that, you know, there was lots of musicians, and
Oh,
you know, and
God,
you're talking to them
everybody
about-
was a musician.
Unfortunately, I was sort of starting to bottle up a little bit because you were talking about you were describing me a little bit, and it was the as you call the MTV generation.
Oh, yeah. I stumbled into this quite by accident. And I'm sorry if I was unkind to you. I didn't know. You seemed a little older.
Like I knew better.
Yeah, and you were from like Nowheresville, Wichita. And I didn't think they had the steady stream of MTV in Wichita. So I stumbled into this thing. I'm a low-end retail situations. You get bright enough people, but you get all these folks that I'm an artist, but I'm doing this for now. You know, and these young guys, you get these waves of young guys, and they were always musicians. Always musicians. And they, it was so peculiar because they would come in and work was an annoyance that they had to put up with. They just had to put up with it. They'd come in and a week later, they had the schedule in their hands to say, well, I have a gig here, and my girlfriend's marrying somebody else here, and I have to go here, and there's a band here, and there's a concert here, and they were constantly fucking with the schedule, you know? What I said as soon as they came in is, I don't change my schedule. I do not change my schedule. That doesn't happen. So nobody annoyed me about it. But they were constantly with this bullshit with this concert, and I'm a guitarist, and I'm a drummer, and we have to go here, and we have a gig there. And you were doing the sort of gigs too. Sorry.
I let it on slow.
Yeah.
After I heard the speech,
Actually,
let
didn't
it
you
out
say to
slow.
me you were in a band, and I said, "Are you from Portland?" You're from Portland. I said, "Are you in a band?" So what started happening to me is I was getting the drift that there was an age group here. There was, like the layers in geology. There was a layer here, and they all seemed to be about the same age, and quasi-educated, not idiots, but as if they said, well, I'm going to be in a band, so I don't have to get real educated, but I'm bright enough. So there's this layer. So then I'm thinking about this because I have a detective psyche. I want to know what the hell's going on. So I see this layer, and then my wife and I get invited to her nephew's wedding in Portland. Okay, so we go to this wedding, and her nephew's about that age, about 32, and this was about 10 years ago or maybe a little less. And every single living soul that came to that wedding at the Jupiter Hotel, which I understand now is
the
some
epicenter of MTV.
yeah, you have to get married at the Jupiter, and the sign in the lobby's great. Don't expect to sleep here. There's going to be noise. If you want quiet, go away. In any case, and it's the damnedest thing. He has a room full of people. And every single living soul in that place, probably 60, 70 people, are in a band. So I'm looking the same age. He's 32, he's 30, she's 29. They're all the same fucking age. Well, I had thought early on that I'd be in a band because I had a great name. So the Sons of Beautiful Mothers. So I was the Sons of Beautiful Mothers.
A great name.
Yeah, and I thought, I'm going to be in a band even though I don't have a band. I'm going to say I have a band, and if they say, oh, where do you play? I'm going to say, oh, we don't play. We're just a band. So in this melee, I'm still formulating where this layer comes from, why this layer exists, because I wasn't there. I was older than this. And in the middle of that madness, some girl who's trying to be thin but has all this stretchy stuff holding her together she was a nice enough person. They were all young though, and I was old. Had a bit of an advantage on them because I was watching the movie and they were in the movie, so they couldn't watch the movie. So she says, she's talking about the band she's in, Miss 45. This is Miss 45. Look for them in Portland. And she says, and I said, well, I'm in a band. And she says, you are? Because I'm old, I'm old. Oh, what's the name of your band? Sons of Beautiful Mothers. And she goes, it's a great name. She says, where do you play? I said, oh, we don't play. And a look came over her face. Are you out of your minds? You can't have a band and you don't fucking play? That can't exist. You can't do that. It was sacrilege, man. I hit him in the sanctum sanctorum. You cannot be a band that doesn't play. So I went on about the band and how we don't play here and we don't play there. We never play. So we've got this huge itinerary and we don't play. So, but anyway, in any case, what I took from that, and the other interesting thing about these folks, which drove me crazy, was they were terrible dancers. They had a band and all these white people.
It sound familiar to anyone?
I'm looking, they can't dance. They can't dance. The other thing that's striking me is when the band is off, they're having this old rock and roll music, and not a single soul is singing along with the music. Nobody's singing with the music. And I'm singing away because I know the old songs. I grew up with them. I was trying to get laid during most of the old songs. And I'm singing along with them and I start watching it. So we leave. We get that done. Awake all night with my 4-year-old son. And we're heading north on the train, and I'm thinking, what is the story on this? Why is everybody in a band who's 30-ish and a little more? And then it hit me like an ash from Huck Finn's pipe. I don't know why. The image came to mind. And I said, MTV. And I realized that there was a time, and I don't know when it was, I guess the late 80s, where there was nothing but music videos on MTV. That's all it was. And there was a slip of people, a group of people. Now, you yourself was a bit of an MTV guy, but you didn't have it in your home.
Right.
And you weren't a latchkey kid, and your parents didn't stuff you in a room with MTV so you'd shut your mouth. They do that today with the computer, stuff him in a room so he shuts his mouth, and let you watch it endlessly. And what they came away with, these kids that had watched MTV for 3 and 4 years, and that's all they watched, was everybody graduates high school and becomes a rock star.
Yeah, I knew you were right because when you were telling me this for the first time, I got a little pissed off.
Really? Here's a toast to good old Boston, to the land of the bean and the cod, where the lowls speak only to Cabots and the Cabots speak only to God. She's Twiggy's golden memory with the spirit of Ayn Rand. She shows up dead at midnight with Bob Dylan and the band. Oh, the cops won't say a word, but everybody knows it's a shadow black image of Tuxedo Rose. There's a race of men who don't fit in a race that can't sit still, so they break the hearts of kith and kin and they roam the world at will. They range the field and rove the flood and climb the mountain's crest. Theirs is the curse of the gypsy's blood and they don't know how to